in informal style.
Recording is on.
Yeah, in informal style, you could simply say soaps. I like soaps. I like family soaps. Right? So you could put it in that way. So this time, I want you to use this word, soap opera. And this time, please repeat the question by some more time. Okay? Kalpana, is that okay? You ready? Hello, Kalpana? I'm not able. Okay.
I'm mute.
Okay, you are in mute. All right, so let's
Okay.
do this again. And right, so the question is the same question again.
Which is your favorite TV show?
Yes, can you tell a little about your favorite TV show?
Which TV show I like the most?
Yes.
Let me see. I don't think I watch much of TV shows,
Mhm.
but I watch quite few of them. My favorite TV show is soap opera. That is Badi Achhe Lagte. It is telecasted in Hindi language.
Mhm.
That's all.
Much better, much better, much better. Okay, so thank you very much for your participation, Kalpana.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. And okay, I was on mute, so sorry about that. Well, it okay. So Tirtha Bhatta, hi Tirtha, are you there? Tirtha Bhatta, are you able to listen to my voice? Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, Suraj Wagle. Hi, Mr. Wagle. How are you today?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, yes. Hello. How are you today, Mr. Wagle?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Blessed morning. And are you in position to turn on your camera?
Uh, I'm going from mobile data. There's no electricity
Oh,
rate. So
okay,
is it
okay.
okay if I'm
Sure,
not
sure.
going?
Sure, sure, sure. I can totally understand. Okay. So, anyways, I've already invited you, so I want you to participate. Even if we can't see you. The same question. No, not the same question. A different question, and I want you to assume that you need time to think of the answer. right? And we don't want to simply sit there silently and look awkward. So I want you to, buy time, and you can see on the screen different ways to buy time. We use filler sounds like oh, um, so these are filler sounds, or phrases like well, okay, just a moment, just a sec. That's an interesting question, or repetition of the question. Which part of my home do I like? Well, that's an interesting question. So I want you to assume that you need time to think of the answer, and I want you to reenact. Let's do that. So the question that I want to ask you, Mr. Wagle, is um, can you talk a little about your best childhood memories?
Um, Best childhood memories. Let me think about it. I don't much remember about the childhood days, but if I have to say something about the memorable days of my childhood, I would say it would be
Mm-hmm.
my primary school days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
to name some events,
Mm-hmm.
it would
Mm-hmm.
be the annual
Mm-hmm.
functions of the schools
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
we used to gather around,
Mm-hmm.
play along.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the days I remember the most.
Okay. Your golden days. Great. Thank you very much. Okay. So thank you for your participation. And I would like to talk about an interesting communication skill as I'm talking to you. So you might have observed, my beautiful friends, when I'm talking, when I'm listening to you, I'm using these sounds. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, your favorite place. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That is wonderful. Oh. Mm-hmm. I see. Mm-hmm. See, this is from your listener's perspective. This is from your audience perspective. Or maybe, a friend can become a therapist. Even if you listen to someone talk, um, you can become a, you know, a community therapist. Everybody has that capability to listen to someone in a very non-judgmental way. So I am talking about from listener, from the perspective of an audience right now. Let's say, for example, your friend or your family member is trying to express an emotion, or telling you something that has happened, and is not able to get words, or is not able to express what to say. And as a listener, if you simply watch and listen, the person is not going to get encouraged. And if you force this person to tell, like, okay, I'm listening, tell me, Tell me, yes, I'm here to listen to you. Okay, I'm listening. So even if you force, this person will uh, become hesitant to share. So as a compassionate human being, as a, you know, a community counselor, at personal level, not a trained one, but at personal level as a community counselor, this is what can help your friends or your family members or yourself as well to become more understanding human being, to become a little more compassionate, a little bit more non-judgmental. So the next time, practice this technique. The next time your friend says you something, expresses an emotion, or expresses an opinion, or expresses a thought, and you can see this person will explain more, will express more, right? So this is how we encourage people to talk more, because you are giving the person an impression that you are listening to this person and not making any adjustments, and this can be an interesting social game as well, right? So experiment with this psychological trick. You will learn a lot about yourself and your friend. Okay, so um, these are called, reinforcement sounds and phrases, right? So I usually use this. Please use this in your social life. You will see magic happening. So, anyways, um, so now I would like to move on to the next topic. I'm sharing my screen now. Yeah, you may use this technique even in Nepali language or your mother tongue or any language that you speak. And now I would like to talk about a very common question. The question is, what do you do? So, what do you do? Well, if you are a student, you may use this template. I'm a student, I'm studying something at somewhere. I chose this subject because, simple as this, because on day one, we talked about keeping your answers simple. Your answer may be like this. Here's an example. I'm a student. I'm studying psychology at Tribhuvan University. I'm doing my master's degree studies. I chose this subject because I want to learn about how human thoughts and behavior affect people and places around. So, you need to give reason why you are studying this. And just hold on. And what do you do? Let's say from employee or employer's perspective. I am an your post. I, do something at name of the place. I love my job because, or I don't love my job because, and I want to get involved in something, right? Maybe the job that you're currently doing, you may not be um, enjoying. You might be thinking of changing your job, right? Because sometimes, because of social and economic reasons, we get into a job that we don't like doing. But, I'm telling you that if you're not enjoying your job, slowly get yourself out of there. Do something that really matters to you. Okay. Get in two things. Number one, the job that gives you inner satisfaction and which gives you an opportunity to express your capability and creativity. And number two, the job that eventually also makes not only um, contribution to your bank account, but contribution to the community as well. These two to three things. Number one, inner satisfaction. Number two, the job should give an opportunity to express your creativity. Number three, should contribute to the community, right? So I love my job because, and if you don't love your job, the job that you're doing, I don't love my job because, and I want to quit and do something. I love this profession. I want to get into this profession because. So here's an answer. I'm a bank teller. I work at Citizens Bank. I love my job because I'm good at calculation and I love meeting people. Right? Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Um, like let's say I don't love a job. Let's say I'm a front desk manager. I work at a finance company, and I really don't like my job. I'm in this job because I'm badly in need of a job right now to make my needs meet. I'm actually interested in music and dance. So, over a period of time, very soon, I want to become a music and dance teacher because I want to share the art that I know. And when I share, I get inner satisfaction, right? So, let's give it a try. And I would like to invite, let's see. Hi, Tirtha, are you there? I gave you um, an invitation earlier as well, but you did not respond. Maybe you were not there at the moment, but are you there, Tirtha? Binod sir, can you contact Tirtha and see if everything is okay at his end? Because he has not been responding. Please, you may call him or message him and ask his situation because he has not been responding. And if he has been experiencing any technical problem, please help him. And if he is feeling a little hesitant to participate, please encourage him to take part. Thank you, Binod sir. Rubin. Hi, Rubin. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning,
Hi,
sir.
Rubin. Good morning.
Hello,
How
sir.
are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Okay, I am doing great. What a blessed day this is. And are you comfortable enough or in the position to turn on your camera right now?
Mm, I would not say that, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you're not in the position to turn on your camera. I can totally understand. So maybe from tomorrow, arrange yourself in such a way that if you are asked any question, you can turn on your camera because, especially during the speaking session, I also need to see your body language, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay,
I'll
so
try.
for now, I respect your privacy, and um, uh, for now, the audio is okay,
Okay, sir.
Rubin. Okay, so the question is, what do you do, right? And would you like to um, answer as a student or as a job holder, Rubin?
Let me see. And currently, I'm a full-time job holder.
Okay,
Uh, I work in a bank
okay.
currently.
Mm-hmm,
Uh, I don't get much time from my job
mm-hmm.
for my family and for my friends, apart from the
Okay,
banking job.
okay.
Mm, Is it a question of part one or is it a question of part three?
It is a part one question. It is a part one question. Well,
Oh, then, then I have
well,
to say more.
this much answer is okay, but I want you to actually include what we talked about. Like, if you love, why do you love your job? And if you don't like your job, why do you don't like your job? And what would you like to do? This makes your answer more interesting, you know? Like what you
So,
said was very common, right? Let's make it more interesting. So when you talk about your likes and dislikes, your answers become interesting. So can
okay,
you
sir.
put it in that way, Rubin?
Okay, I'll try, sir.
Okay,
Um,
so I'll ask you the question again and please
okay,
respond. So, Rubin, what do you do?
I'm a full-time job holder. I work in a bank right now,
Mm-hmm,
uh, and I also did my studies as of bachelor's in business administration in Janapuri Multiple Campus back here in Pokhara, in my
mm-hmm,
hometown.
mm-hmm,
Mm, I chose this subject to study because of social pressure, and my peers chose this too.
mm-hmm,
Uh, Not like it was not like my own choice.
mm-hmm,
And in that subject, I majored in banking and finance. So I'm doing banking job right now,
mm-hmm,
but my necessity to do a job right now,
mm-hmm,
I quite don't like my job right now. So
mm-hmm,
I'm planning on leaving it soon.
mm-hmm,
Mm, But there's the good point of meeting people and talking with them, listening to different opinions about people.
mm-hmm.
That's
Okay,
one of the opportunities that I have gained
okay,
from
okay.
this banking job.
And what would you like to get involved? Um, like if you quit your job, what would be the next job that you would like to get involved with?
Currently, I'm in a, like, what do we say, it's private banking job.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I would like to get in government banking job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying for that too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
But you said that you don't like
and
this
also,
job, right?
I don't like the job of private banking sectors.
Oh, okay. Okay, private banking sector. All right.
I don't
Okay.
like the job of private banking
What
sector.
is
I would
the
like to.
what would be different in the government banking sector?
Okay. The pressure would be much less than
Okay.
here than in the
Mm-hmm.
private banking sector.
All right.
Um,
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. See,
Thank you, sir.
when you explain in this way why you love, why you don't love, why you like, why you dislike, things become interesting automatically, right? It's
Yes,
very
sir. Yes,
easy
sir.
to make your conversation interesting, right? So great.
Yes, sir. Thank
Thank
you,
you very
sir.
much for your participation, and
You're
um, may you get involved with what you are really passionate about, and may you get involved into something that gives you inner satisfaction and uh, and and uh, and job that eventually also makes a social contribution. And
Yes, sir.
yes, thank you. And now let's move on to the next. Mm, all right, let's move on to the next topic now. All right, so this is all about uh, how we should not answer, right? Uh, so let's talk about do's and don'ts. How you should not answer certain question. So the question here is, what do you do every day? When asked this question, many students tend to give a list of things. All right, please understand this. What do most of the people do? Give a list, give a list of things. So, like this, I wake up at 6 a.m. and freshen up. After a quick yoga routine, I take my breakfast at 7. I do my lunch at 9 and go to work. This is a list. No list. This makes your answer boring. So, what should we do then? The best way to answer this type of question is to pick one important task and explain it in detail. One task or two tasks, maybe, but not more than that. If you cannot explain much about one task, pick a few tasks which are on your priority, which are on your priority list, and explain about them. Do not give a list. So here's a template, my beautiful friends. To answer the question, you may use the following template. Among a number of tasks that I do every day, let me talk about the tasks which I love doing and which are important to me. I am a an someone. So I do something in the morning. In the daytime, I am at somewhere. I hang out with my friends, family. in the time of the day or name of the place, we usually list of activities. So you may take this screenshot of this. This is interesting. So your answer may be like the following, like this. Let's check it out. Among a number of tasks that I do every day, let me talk about the tasks which I love doing and which are important to me. I'm a health conscious person, so I do yoga and meditation in the morning. In the daytime, I'm at my work. I'm a teacher at a community school. I teach science and I love my job and my students. I hang out with my friends in the evening at nearby cafe. I usually drink local tea and share funny jokes. What was the question? The question was, what do you do every day? What do you do every day? Compare this answer with this answer. The question is, what do you do every day? All right, so we have two possible answers here. One, giving a list. Number two, picking a few important tasks and explaining about them. And I believe that you have already understood what I mean. Giving a list makes your answer boring. And when you pick a few important tasks and explain about them, your answer becomes fantastic, interesting. You may take this screenshot of this because you can see the comparison. So, big no to this, big yes to this. Now, I would like to invite one of you to answer this question, and I want you to not give a list, but pick important task. Vivek Bikash Gurung. Hi, Bikash. How are you there?
Hello, sir.
Hey,
Like,
blessed morning, blessed morning. And Bikash Gurung, where are you joining us from this morning?
I am joining from Salem.
Okay, great, great. Okay, beautiful morning outside. I can see through the window.
Uh,
All right. Okay, so now I believe that even if you don't hold your microphone on your mouth or in your hand, we can listen to you loud and clear. Say something. Hi, because how are you? Check one, two. You don't hold
Hello,
your
hello,
microphone.
sir.
You don't hold your mic. Say
Hello, sir.
something.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I want your hands to be free, right? Are you holding your cell phone? No, it's on.
No.
It's placed somewhere, right? Great. Okay. Because I want your hands to be free, your mouth to be free. Great, wonderful. So the question that I want to ask you is the same. What do you do every day? And what I want you to do is pick a few important tasks that you do in your everyday life and explain about it. Okay, Bikash?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I'm
I'll
going to
try my
ask you the
best.
question. Sure. The question is, what do you do every day? Because,
Among a number of tasks I
mm-hmm,
do every day,
mm-hmm,
let me about let me about the tasks which are important to me.
mm-hmm,
Mm, I am a health conscious person, so I do
mm-hmm,
yoga
mm-hmm,
in the morning every day.
mm-hmm,
I am at my work,
mm-hmm,
work in a government project
mm-hmm,
adaptation for smallholders in hilly areas as a project
mm-hmm,
as an agriculture technician
mm-hmm,
since 2018,
mm-hmm,
and I love my work because I learn something everyday new things, uh,
mm-hmm,
and in my job I have to meet various types of person,
mm-hmm,
so I get chance to learn something new.
mm-hmm. Okay, great. Bikash, you've done a great job. Over a period of time, you can become a very good communicator. For now, you've given your best, Bikash. And did you say Hile, the place above Dhankuta, or it's a different place?
No, sir. Solan is
Salian.
project name, sir.
Okay, 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 Salian. Where is this place, Salian?
This is belongs to Karnali province,
Okay, Karnali province.
nearby Dang district.
Okay, there.
My
Okay.
hometown is Dang.
Mm-hmm.
I recently worked here.
All right. Okay. Good to know that. Good to know that. All right. So, next thing that I want you to tell is, um, pay a little attention to grammar. Okay. You said, um, I meet various person. Various, different means plural. People, right?
Mm,
And use your hands when you speak. All right. Just a moment. Let me turn on my camera. Yes. So as you speak, you need to use your hands as you speak. This can make your conversation more interesting. This, mm, you know, what happens is the movement of your hands, the movement of your body attracts people. All right, you there is less possibility of distraction during a conversation when there is a movement. So
mm.
use your hands a little and smile a little more, gentle smile. I can understand that because maybe you were nervous a little, uh, you were looking a little uncomfortable, but over a period of time, you have the potential to become a good speaker. So don't let this little experience discourage you. This is a step one, and let the journey be 1,000 miles. It always begins from first step. These are your initial steps. Keep on walking, and over a period of time you can become a magnetic speaker, Bikash. All right.
All right, sir.
Okay. And one thing more, that well, earlier when you were trying to speak, you were holding, let me show you, you were holding the microphone like this.
Yes.
You were also biting your microphone, holding your microphone through your mouth. When you hold a microphone like this, it doesn't give you freedom of expression. So
Yes.
if the listeners are not listening to you, um, or if you're not loud enough, maybe tug the microphone somewhere in your collar, clip it somewhere, okay? But don't hold it like this. This restricts your freedom. Drop it or clip it and use your both hands,
Okay, sir.
because these days we do a lot of communication through video conference, and the next time you need to do a video conference, um, set up like this and people will be impressed. Okay. All right.
Okay, sir. This is my
Okay,
first time. That's why I am
great,
getting
great.
nervousness.
Yes, yes, it is really obvious. I can totally understand. Uh, I can totally understand, but over a period of time, you can do it. And next thing that I want you to understand is the next time you are holding a video conference, face towards the window.
Okay, sir.
Okay, arrange yourself in a such a way that you are facing the window and the light is on your face.
Yes.
Right, right now, the place you are sitting is creating an anti-light situation. Because of that, your face is not bright enough.
Mm.
Okay, so next time you don't have to do it right away. So because we interact a lot these days on video conference, and I am not just talking to Bikash right now, I'm addressing to everyone. So these are a few adjustments that we can make in order to become an effective communicator while we are doing a video conference online. And Bikash Gurung, thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you too, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Again, you held your microphone.
I forget it.
Okay. All right. Um, all right. So now let's see if we have enough time to talk about the next. Oh, this is going to be pretty long. So I'm not going to talk about this. Positive response. This will take a while. We'll move on to the second half session now. That is our mock test. So give me a moment, my beautiful friends. I'll share my screen in a moment. We'll begin our listening mock test in a moment. And Binod sir, you might have noticed Tirtha Bhatta's message. He has been experiencing a technical issue. If not now, maybe later. Let's see what we can do to help him fix the issue. Thank you very much, Binod Sreshta sir, for being here. And yes, just hold on. I am setting things up for the listening mock test. All right, let's get it started. Today, a lot of friends are absent today. About 10 to 15 friends are absent today, maybe because of electricity issue or something. So I'm going to share my screen now. All right. So, okay, I believe that you're able to see my screen. And let's do an audio test.
Recording 51. You will hear a conversation between an assistant at a community centre and a man who wants to join some evening classes. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6.
Okay, thank you, Rubin Podel, for affirming that. So, Rubin Podel has shared the audio is clear. I believe that it is the same for everyone. Let's get it started. I believe that you're ready with your answer sheet. If not, I'm going to give you a moment to do that. Please write numbers 1 to 40 in your notebook. All right, I believe that your answer sheet is ready now. Let's get it started.
Recording 51. You will hear a conversation between an assistant at a community centre and a man who wants to join some evening classes. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6.
Hello, Eastwood Community Centre.
Oh, hello. My name's Andrew Dyson. I'm calling about the evening classes you offer.
OK, Mr Dyson. Are there any classes in particular that you're interested in?
Yes, you've got a class called Painting with Watercolours, I believe.
That's right. It's a popular class, so this term it'll be moving to the hall, so they've got more room.
Right. I know it's on Tuesdays, but what time exactly?
It was 6:30 last term, but let me just have a look at the details. OK, it'll be 7:30 this time. Probably it suits more people.
Well, it's my wife who's really interested, and that'll be good for her because she's home from work by 7:15. That'll give her just enough time to get there. What does she need to bring?
OK, well, paints are provided by the tutor. I know that. The information says she'll need just a jar for water and some pencils for drawing. There are also lots of aprons here, so she needn't worry what she's wearing. And the cost for 4 classes is $45, including paints, as I said.
OK. Now, we're both quite keen on the Maori language class.
There are spaces on the next course, so you could join that.
Oh, good. Which room will that be in?
When you come in through the entrance of the community centre building, You'll need to go straight up the stairs in front of you, all the way to the top, and it's the small room you'll find there.
I see. All right, and let me just check when it's starting. I heard from someone that the July course has been delayed until August.
I'm afraid so, and we're halfway through the June course at the moment, so there's not much point you taking that.
I guess we'll have to wait then.
Well, when you do come, the tutor recommends bringing a small recorder with you, just so you can listen again later. And the cost for 5 classes is currently $40.
Okay, useful information to know. There's one more class I'm interested in. That's the digital photography class.
Oh, I've taken that class myself. The tutor's very good. That'll be in room 9, and it's starting in 2 weeks' time, in the evening, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Obviously I need to bring the camera with me. I suppose it'd be useful to have the instructions that go with the camera too?
I'd say so. Some people bring along a lot of accessories like extra lenses, but there's really no need for this class. It's mainly focusing on composition, really, and getting the most out of the basic camera.
That's exactly what I need. And how much does it cost?
Let's see. For 4 classes, it's $35. But if you take 8, it works out as $55. So you're making a bit of a saving. $15, that is.
I see.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Okay, now just another question for the watercolours class. I've just remembered that my wife asked me to find out about the level. Who's it for?
Okay, well, you don't have to be very skilled or anything like that. It's designed for beginners, actually. People who might see art as a hobby rather than as a professional opportunity.
That sounds like my wife. And, who do I talk to if I want to find out some more about the Maori language classes?
Probably best to talk to the tutor directly. He'll be in the office in about half an hour. His name's Jason Kuai. That's K-A-H-U-I.
Good. I'll give him a call.
Oh, if you do decide to come to the photography class, don't forget to look at your camera battery and make sure it's charged. I know it sounds obvious, but I've seen a few people suddenly find the cameras stopped working right in the middle of class.
Yes, I can imagine it'd be easy to forget that. Oh, that reminds me. In the final week of the photography course, is it right that there's a visit to a show in the local area? I work in the city, you see, so I might have to come home early for that one.
Yes, they'll decide the date once the class has started. Is there anything else I can...
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 2.
Recording 52.
You will hear a project manager talking to voluntary workers about the tasks that need to be done. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14.
Good morning. It's great to see so many people here. Thank you all very much for coming. Well, as you know, the community gardens at Hadley Park are really not looking as good as they should. Quite bad, really. And although the local council has a budget to deal with some of the problems, we do need volunteers for other tasks. If you don't mind, I'm going to divide you into 2 groups. So everyone on this side of the room is Group A, and the rest of you are Group B. So, Group A, there are a couple of things we'd like you to help with. First of all, don't worry about any litter or empty bottles you see lying about. One of the local schools has offered to help out with that as part of their own environmental project. The priority for you will be to give us a hand with the new wooden fencing. It needs constructing along parts of the bicycle track, as there are parts which have now fallen down or broken, as I'm sure you've seen. You've probably also noticed that some of the pathways that come from the bicycle track are quite narrow, and there are plans to make them wider, but the council will be dealing with that later in the year. And they've also promised to produce some informational signs about the plants in the gardens. Hopefully, they'll be up in a few weeks' time. The other thing we're doing is getting rid of some of the foreign species that are growing in the gardens and putting back some native plants and trees. So you'll be doing some digging for us and getting those into the ground. So, Group A, there's some items you'll need to bring along with you. I was going to say raincoats, but the forecast has changed, so you can leave those at home. I'd definitely recommend a strong pair of boots. Waterproof would be best. It's quite muddy at the moment, and your own gloves would also be advisable. Tools will be available, spades and hammers, that kind of thing. You just need to make sure they go back in the trucks. And, there's no need to worry about food and drink, as we'll be supplying sandwiches and coffee, possibly some biscuits even.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 15 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
Okay, Group B, your turn. Does everyone have a copy of the plan? Oh, great. Okay. We'll all be meeting in the car park. That's on the bottom of the plan. See? Now, if you've been assigned to the vegetable beds, to get there, you go out of the car park and go up the footpath until you reach the circle of trees. There they are, in the middle of the plan. And you see that the footpath goes all the way around them. Well, on the left-hand side of that circular footpath, there's a short track which takes you directly to the vegetable beds. You can see a bamboo fence marked just above them. All right? Okay, if you're helping out with the beehives, pay attention. Look again at the circle of trees in the middle of the plan and the footpath that goes around them. On the right side of that circle, you can see that the footpath goes off in an easterly direction, heading towards the right-hand side of the plan. And then the path splits into two, and you can either go up or down. You want the path that heads down. And at the end of this, you see two areas divided by a bamboo fence. And as there are parts which have now fallen down project, things we'd like you to help with. First of all, don't worry about any litter or empty bottles you see lying about, or fallen down or broken, as I'm sure you've seen. You've probably in the gardens, so you'll be doing a pair of boots. Sure, they go
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 15 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
Okay, Group B, your turn. Does everyone have a copy of the plan? Oh, great. Okay. We'll all be meeting in the car park. That's on the bottom of the plan. See? Now, if you've been assigned to the vegetable beds, to get there, you go out of the car park and go up the footpath until you reach the circle of trees. There they are, in the middle of the plan. And you see that the footpath goes all the way around them. Well, on the left-hand side of that circular footpath, there's a short track which takes you directly to the vegetable beds. You can see a bamboo fence marked just above them. All right? Okay, if you're helping out with the beehives, pay attention. Look again at the circle of trees in the middle of the plan and the footpath that goes around them. On the right side of that circle, you can see that the footpath goes off in an easterly direction, heading towards the right-hand side of the plan. And then the path splits into two, and you can either go up or down. You want the path that heads down. And at the end of this, you see two areas divided by a bamboo fence. And as we're looking at the plan, the beehives are on the right of the fence. The smaller section, I mean. Now, don't worry, all the bees have been removed. You just need to transport the hives back to the car park. OK, for the seating, look at the circular footpath. At the top of it, there's a path that goes from there and takes you up to the seating area, alongside the bicycle track, and with a good view of the island, I suppose. OK, if you're volunteering for the adventure playground area, let's start from the car park again and go up the footpath, but then you want the first left turn. Go up there, and then you see there's a short path that goes off to the right. Go down there, and that's the adventure playground area, above the bamboo fence. That fence does need repairing, I'm afraid. Right, what else? Oh yes, the sand area. We've got that circular footpath in the middle. Find the track that goes east, towards the right-hand side of the plan, and where that track divides, you need the little path that goes up towards the bicycle track. The sand area is just above the bamboo fence there. And finally, the pond area. So it's on the left-hand side of your plan, towards the top, just above the fruit bushes and to the left of the little path. OK, as I said already, hopefully we'll be...
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 3.
Recording 53.
You will hear two students discussing a presentation they are going to give. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25.
Hi, Robert.
Hi. Sorry I'm late. I was just printing off some pages about food waste in Britain.
Do you want to include Britain in the presentation? I thought we were concentrating on the USA.
Well, it is a global problem, so I thought we ought to provide some statistics that show that.
Fair enough. What did you find out?
Well, I was looking at a British study from 2013. It basically concluded that 12 billion pounds worth of food and drink was thrown away each year, all of it ending up in landfill sites. Over 8 million tons. And that wasn't including packaging.
An incredible amount.
Yes, and they were only looking at what households threw away, so there's no information about restaurants and the catering industry. But one thing the study did investigate was the amount of milk and soft drinks that were wasted, and I think it was probably quite unique in that respect.
Interesting. You know, in the other European reports I've read, There's one thing they have in common when they talk about carbon dioxide emissions.
I know what you are going to say. They never refer to the fuel that farms and factories require to produce the food and the carbon dioxide that releases?
Exactly. We could really cut down on carbon emissions if less food was supplied in the first place. To my mind, the reports talk too much about the carbon dioxide produced by the trucks that deliver the fresh goods to the shops and take the waste away. They forget about one of the key causes of carbon dioxide.
Absolutely. If the reports are actually going to be useful to people, they need to be more comprehensive.
Who do you mean by people?
Well, the government, industries, people making television programs. Have you seen any documentaries about food waste?
Not that I remember.
My point exactly. These days, they all seem to be focusing on where your meat, fruit, and vegetables are sourced from. We're being encouraged to buy locally, not from overseas. That's probably a good thing, but I'd still like to see something about waste.
Yes, it's the same with magazine articles. It's all about fat and sugar content, and the kind of additives and coloring in food, but nothing about how it reaches your table and what happens after it ends up in the bin.
Well, we've only got 15 minutes for this presentation, so I think we'll have to limit what we say about the consequences of food waste. What do we want to concentrate on?
Well, I know some of the other presentations are looking at food and farming methods and what they do to the environment. So I think we'll avoid that. And the fact that in some countries, people can't afford the food grown on their own farms. That was covered last term.
Okay, we don't want to repeat stuff.
What concerns me above all else is that in a recession, governments should be encouraging business to find ways to cut costs. Apparently, supermarkets in the USA lose about 11% of their fruit to waste. That's throwing money away.
All right, we'll focus on that problem. It should get the others' attention anyway. Now, how do you want to begin the presentation? Let's not start with statistics, though, because that's what everybody does.
I agree. How about we give the other students a set of questions to answer about what they suspect they waste every day?
I'm fine with that. Probably a better option than showing pictures of landfill sites. It'll be more personalized that way.
All right. Now let's start.
Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Okay, shall we now have a look at the projects that different researchers and organizations are working on?
For me, the project I really liked was the one at Tufts University. You know, where they've invented tiny edible patches to stick on fresh foods that show you what level of bacteria is present, and so whether you can still eat it.
It's a great idea, as it tells you if you need to hurry up and eat the food before it goes off. The other good thing about the patches is that apparently they'll be cheap to manufacture.
Good. Then the other thing I thought was great was the Massachusetts Institute of Technology project.
I hadn't seen that.
Well, they've developed these sensors that can detect tiny amounts of ethylene. Ethylene is the natural plant hormone in fruit that makes them turn ripe, apparently. The researchers think that they can attach the sensors to cardboard boxes. And then supermarkets can scan the sensors with a portable device to see how ripe the fruit inside is. That's got to be a quicker way to check for ripeness than taking each box off the shelf and opening it.
Definitely. And I thought that Lean Path was worth mentioning too. Their waste tracking technology means that caterers can see how much food is being wasted and why. That'll increase profits for them eventually.
Yes. And did you read about 0%? They've produced this smartphone application that allows restaurants to send donation alerts to food charities. The charities can then pick up the unwanted food and distribute it to people in need.
In the long run, that'll definitely benefit poorer families in the neighborhood. No kid should go to school hungry.
I agree. And I read that quite a few local governments in the USA are thinking about introducing compulsory composting in their states. So you can't put any food waste into your rubbish bins, just the compost bin.
Well, I guess that means a bit more work for people. I mean, they have to separate the organic and inorganic waste themselves before they take it out to the compost bin, and you know how lazy some people are. But I guess if we all start composting, we'd be doing something positive about the problem of food waste ourselves, rather than relying on the government to sort it out. Having
Okay, my friends, there was a network issue. I was trying to get connected to data or was experiencing a little bit of challenge. So I believe that we'll continue now. Thank you very much for your patience. We'll continue. Thank you very much. We'll continue from section 4. And please mute your microphone, my friends. Why am I not able to? Okay.
Recording 54.
You will hear a lecture about Maori kite making. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Well, good morning, everyone. As you know, we've been looking at different kinds of art and craft that were practiced by the Maori people of New Zealand, at least before the Europeans began to arrive in the 18th century. So, the focus of this lecture is kite making, how the kites were made, their appearance, and the purposes they served. Well, let's start with the way they were made. As with other Maori artistic traditions, kite making involved certain rituals. So, firstly, only priests were allowed to fly and handle the largest, most sacred kites. There were rules too, for the size and scale of the kites that the priests had to follow, and during the preparation of both small and large kites, food was strictly forbidden. In terms of appearance, kites were frequently designed in the image of a native bird, or a Maori god, and sometimes, perhaps less often, a well-known hero. You can imagine that when Maori first arrived in the new country, in New Zealand, it may have taken some time to find suitable materials for their kites. But, through trial and error no doubt, they found plants and trees that provided bark and even roots that they could use to make the frames and wings of their kites. And after the frame had been constructed, the kite then had to be decorated. For this, the priests used long grasses, and these, when the kite was in the air, would stream along behind it. They also used a variety of feathers to add colour to their creations. Well, all this meant it was easy to see a kite in the sky, but you could also hear Maori kites. They could be quite noisy indeed, and this was because some priests liked to hang a long row of shells from the kite. You can imagine how they'd rattle and clatter in the wind, how they might completely capture your attention. As I said before, the most common image was probably a bird, and that's the same for other kite-making cultures. But the kites were designed in particular shapes. So, there were kites that were triangular, rectangular, and also shaped like a diamond. And some of them were so large it would actually require several men to operate them. Some of the kites were also covered in patterns, and to make these patterns, the Maori used different pigments of red and black, and these were either made from a charcoal base or from red-brown clay which had been combined with oil obtained from a local species of shark. Now, before I forget, if you have a chance, do visit the Auckland Museum, because they have the last surviving Birdman kite on display. This is the kind